Hello, California NORML. It's wonderful to join all of you. I'm Rob Bonta, California Attorney General. Thank you for this invitation to join you virtually for this gathering of advocates fighting for sound cannabis policy. For nearly 50 years, California NORML's activism has been tireless. It's been consistent. It's made a difference. You've helped countless patients receive essential medicine, medicine that eases suffering, medicine that many people need. You've shaped a national discussion on cannabis policy, one that I'm sure will one day lead to safe and regulated legalization at the federal level. Today, we're honoring 25 years of Prop 215 and everyone who took part in that history. Because of your work, each day we continue to make history. California is the world's 5th largest economy. We are number 1 in the nation for many things like starting new businesses. We are number 1 in manufacturing, agriculture, entertainment, tourism, technology, and college graduates. And we are also number 1 in the world for legal cannabis. Our state has the largest legal cannabis market in the world. As California's Attorney General, I think that's a good thing. Whether it's medicinal or recreational adult use, a legal and regulated marketplace ensures the industry is successful and it ensures product is safe and tested. And specifically, when it comes to medicinal use, our progressive policies recognize that this product is not only popular, it is vital for so many patients. We've come a long way since Prop 215, but we still have a lot of work to do to transition the illicit market into the legal one. Illegal and unlicensed cannabis damages our environment, it hurts our economy, and it's harmful to the health and safety of our community. We need smart regulation, smart law enforcement, streamlined licensing systems, and the removal of other barriers that keep cannabis unsafe and underground. I believe the cannabis market can become fully legitimate and prosperous. I'm optimistic because I've seen the progress that can happen when everyone with a stake in the outcome comes to the table to figure out solutions. In 2015, I sought to create California's first statewide cannabis regulatory system. I had a unique vantage point as an assembly member representing Oakland, a city where the war on drugs had led to violent crackdowns. People of color were left bruised and beaten, thrown behind bars, and torn away from their families and support network, all for cannabis. This devastating history of aggressive enforcement in Oakland forced some tough conversations and policy changes, and the city slowly emerged as the heart and the headquarters for cannabis justice, equity, and entrepreneurship. We knew in 2015 that voters across California were on the verge of fully legalizing adult use of cannabis, and we needed to make the law work. During that time, I served as chair of the Assembly Health Committee, where I learned more about the medicinal importance of cannabis and the need for safe, accessible, high-quality medicine. Efforts to create a regulatory system for cannabis had failed before in the state capitol, but failure was no longer an option. With full legalization looming on the ballot, we knew the industry was about to explode. So we brought in the patients and their advocates, we brought in the criminal justice folks, and the cities and counties, the cultivators and manufacturers, law enforcement, and organized labor. We listened to everyone's ideas and concerns. And even if every proposal didn't make it into the final law, people were heard. They were understood. Alliances were created. Friendships were fostered. Those conversations led to legislation that established the core tenets of the cannabis regulations that are in place today. The regulatory landscape is an ongoing project, but as evidenced by today's conference, we have a broad coalition that's willing to work together to continue to improve. We need partnerships like this more than ever. The illicit market remains a dark cloud hanging over an emerging industry. For example, last month, I announced the results of the Campaign Against Marijuana Planting Program, or CAMP. This year, we eradicated nearly 1.2 million cannabis plants that were grown illegally en masse on our public lands. These grows often exploit labor and use dangerous, outlawed chemicals that harm wildlife, ecosystems, and water supplies. That's also why, in addition to sharing this season's results, last month, I also announced the California DOJ will initiate a 6-month review of the CAMP program to ensure we solidify the program's updated focus and to ensure we are using our resources to effectively address the environmental, labor, and economic impacts of illegal cultivation. As we move the cannabis industry into the legal, regulated marketplace, there is no excuse for the environmental devastation, economic impact, and labor exploitation we continue to see in illegal and unlicensed grows. That's why our work continues. When we focus on solutions, when we hear each other and respect the work of each stakeholder, we can overcome the challenges and bring the industry into the light. We must continue to work together for public health so patients can access safe and affordable medicine. We must continue to work together for clean water and a healthy environment. We must continue to work together for small businesses so entrepreneurs and workers can access banks, pay taxes, provide for their families, and compete on equal footing with their competitors. We want safety and security for workers and consumers. And finally, we must continue to work together for social justice and criminal justice reform. Enough people have been arrested in our neighborhoods for cannabis. It's time we bring more investment into our neighborhoods. During this conference, I hope you continue to learn. I hope you strengthen alliances and deepen partnerships as we continue to work to create a better, safer cannabis industry. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak. Thank you for the contributions you made with Prop 215 that quite literally changed history and changed lives for the better. Have a wonderful conference.